Welcome back to One Consciousness. This week, it's really difficult to know where to actually start on the video. The actual message for my horse this week is about the US again and the energy that's happening over there, where the spotlight is over in the US, towards San Francisco this time. But before we go into that, I just want to mention about everything else that's happening. Obviously, the last few weeks we've been looking at Tennessee and Mississippi and what I believe to be the New Madrid seismic zone. And we've also gone further than this week to San Francisco. But the focus is very, very much on the States from the horses. Both my horses have American in them. They're quarter American and three-quarter British. So we have those very strong connections anyway. Whether that's relevant to what's going on, I don't know, but I'm sure the answer to that will come out soon. But in the meantime, there's lots of focus on the earthquakes, multitude of earthquakes over in Santorini. There's talk about the sea lowering as maybe the seafloor is higher at this moment and what might be behind that. They're also talking about volcano going off in that region and what might happen as a result of that. I know there's a volcano which all the eyes are on that as well. I believe that's off Oregon in the States or around there. There is just so much happening with the fault lines, with the Earth's crust. And as someone I saw said this morning, it's very much about the Earth being a living, breathing organism. And at this moment in time, it feels like everything is shifting. The poles are shifting, as we've mentioned in previous messages. The Earth's crust is shifting, maybe to accommodate that, but who knows what else is going on at the moment. And all this comes up not to engender more fear into everyone, but to help maybe join the dots, and maybe not at this moment in time to join those dots, but in future it will become clear what this is all about and what is happening to the Earth at the moment. I'm sure this is happening elsewhere in the galaxy as well. I can't imagine it's just Earth this is happening in, and why would that be? There is so much more that we don't understand at the moment, and there's many light workers helping to piece all of this together. But what I can say right here and now is thank heavens to the animals that they're showing us their wisdom and showing us what they know about what's happening at the moment to help guide us through this process and to hopefully reassure us we don't need to be in fear about what is actually happening. All of this, I have no doubt, is happening for a very, very strong reason to take us into the new Earth and everything that that future holds there for us. So this is about us having hope and faith in the whole process, despite everything that's going on in the 3D. Again, they're asking us to see and focus on the big picture, not what's happening in the chaos beneath in the 3D level. That's not where she's asking us to focus. But look up to the skies, see what's happening, look at nature. They've talked before, my horse has talked about the bubbling in the oceans, and now we're getting more of an idea maybe what that bubbling in the oceans is all about that I've mentioned at the beginning of this video. So it is all starting to come together, and what seemed quite random, quite abstract at one point is now starting to make more sense. We are starting to piece together the big picture and to maybe oversee all these changes. And as we oversee them as well, we can rise in our vibration. As we do look up to the skies, we can rise in our vibration and start to perceive our third eye opening up. They're showing me now opening up like it's never done before, and it's opening up completely now to the big picture, to everything that's in front of us and to everything that they're showing us. So with that, I will go into the message from my horse for this week. And as usual, they summarize at the beginning always with something very symbolic that you'll see in every video. This time, what they're showing is white light coming down, and it's in a pitter-patter type of motion, and the skies are dark. What they're asking you to do is envision all of this, and the only thing that's important here is what you're actually getting from that vision. I can explain ours as much as I can and as much as I can put into words, but still the most important thing is what you're getting from that vision, what's coming out for you, what that message is for you in all of this. So in that vision of the white light coming down and the pitter-patter of rain in that, there is so much coming down of the angelic light. There's thunder in there. There is the magnetic field that's coming down, the increasing sharpness of the magnetic field that's penetrating down into the oceans and into us, into all of our physicality. And as I mentioned that, my horse is flying around again over the US. She's also flying over the UK in the vision that she's showing me, and connecting the two countries together energetically, she's showing me now. And the path between both will soon become very easy. There will be no boundaries or barriers to entry. And maybe this is a message to me in our own journey and what we're looking to set up through the horse-human communities around the world. So maybe it's not as a generalization, maybe this is more specific, but she's helping to open up the energy field now to make that transmission much easier. And that she's also wanting to let us know that they're always orchestrating these moves and working with the energy in divine will. So this is part of the divine plan that they're always referring to. Some refer to it as us being in a simulation, but I prefer to feel it, see it, sense it as the divine will and the divine plan. That's what they've always shown me. Very benevolent. So today she's showing me a place on the map further west than Tennessee and Mississippi. And it's south of San Francisco Bay. Inland. Initially I thought maybe just over the border of the next state down, but actually it's further up looking at the map. It is inland, but she's also showing me it's very much, or there's very much of the influence of San Francisco there. My feeling is, from having had a look at the map, that this is maybe over the fault lines that converge into a fork around there. And that feeling now is quite strong. Then she's showing me a plume of air, smoke, coming out of the ground here near San Francisco, in the area I'm talking about, which looks on first sight as though it's a volcano, but actually the energy rising forth there out of the ground, maybe that is the energy that's actually coming through those fault lines. But I do feel that there's some connection there with a volcano. And I'm feeling very much as though with the mycelium underneath the ground for the trees, that there is a similar network now on the fault lines and the volcanoes and the earthquakes, one thing setting the others off. And I remember my horse telling me years and years ago now about the ascension process and what would be happening when we see this mass of volcanoes and earthquakes happening around the earth. And that would signify the apocalyptic time in history, which it does feel like we're in currently. So all this energy that I'm seeing coming out of the ground, it's happening to clear the stuck energy over there. This will reverberate out inland, and it will motion the Earth's crust to divide apart. She's mentioned before about releasing stuck energy from within, and we'll probably be feeling that, and maybe you'll be feeling that personally as well in your body, that this feels like a time of purging, and like all the energy is circulating around your body at speed like it's never done before. All the processes in your body feel like they're speeding up. But it feels like a regeneration energy coming through, and one that is evolving from the activation of the ancient codes, it feels. Those ancient codes. And it feels like there's some connection with San Francisco there. So much activation is occurring or about to occur along this fault line. And they're showing me a very powerful alchemical process there. So it's maybe not good to be there when it is activated. But his intention is not to destroy. But this is about a total regeneration of the earth. All activated in divine timing. And there is nothing that humans do that will be able to affect this event. It will happen anyway, for the greater good. And I see my horse again looking now over all these changes that are happening. She's observing and monitoring all those changes. So it's of no consequence whether this is visible to our 3D human eyes, I'm being told. This is happening in higher dimensions. And many of you being more sensitive will absolutely be able to feel these changes and see them with your higher consciousness. So these are deep-rooted biblical connections that are coming up with the states. So if anyone's listening to this that also has connections with the states, whether you live over there, whether you work in some capacity with the states, there is something really big coming up there at the moment. And I've always wondered why we have had those deep connections between all of us, and why at a questioning logical level. And this appears to be how it is manifesting, linking in the divine will with the US. So it's eternally fascinating to me how spirit actually works and how all the connections and interconnectedness weaves its magic. All those connections that are going on and synchronicities right now. And it's for us to get out of our own way, which the horses are showing me continually. And they're asking us now to surrender in again to the divine will. There's so much information coming through from the divine at present. And I'm hoping you're all receiving all the messages now that are coming through at force, it feels. And I mean at force by the strength of them coming through and the numbers coming through. It is constant. So it's leading us all through the ascension process. And also to remember that nothing is by accident. All those connections that resonate with you, that you felt at a deep level, and maybe questioned but couldn't find a logical answer for. Those connections will all be making themselves known to you through your own activations, your intentions, and where you feel guided to explore. And just to reiterate again now for the end of this message, none of this that's happening is about logic. None of this is about instant gratification. None of this is about any of that. It is about the other side of your brain, about the intuitive side that connects in with your heart and going deep, deep, deep into your heart, into your soul. And it's where our souls align together with the souls of the animals and nature, the seas, the oceans, the whole of the earth and the galaxy. We are connected into one. And a lot of the information that's coming through right now is coming through the one consciousness, is coming through the unity consciousness. It's like our own database of information about everything that's happening within this process and within the universe. They want us to enjoy the process as intense as it is. They want us all to enjoy it and to be in joy as we create with it together, with our own individual parts that we're playing in our own unique way, but all in this together. Thank you for watching.